teams have gotten a ton of points in the paint today. There have been a lot of, frankly, easy twos on both sides.
Bobcats had 19 wins last year. Marshall had 24. The Bobcats won one game of the MAC tournament. Marshall was bounced in Pensacola in the first round. And in Chili Killen, strong take to the goal, tried to step through. Foul on either Sharif Mitchell or A.J. Clayton 11 seconds into this half.
Tough matchup there. Mitchell's on him right under the basket, and Chili Killen is a solid 6 or more inches taller. He'll get to the line.
What an interesting backstory for him, and I'm sure Dan D'Antoni loves to have him. From Lagos, Nigeria, Chapmanville High School in West Virginia, and he's an engineering major. He wants to build buildings, and he also loves card tricks.
He's a very smart, very interesting dude, and was part of that wave of guys when West Virginia had 2 or 3 decent prep schools going that came over here to play high school basketball. Chapmanville's on a prep school, but he was with a lot of those guys.
I would imagine you can learn a whole lot of card tricks on that flight.
A lot of time.
From Africa to the States, and I'm sure that Marshall is so happy to have him. Split the pair. Sharif Mitchell got loose into the post, had the ball knocked away. Active hands, as we told you. Whole lot of movement. Ends up with Kerfman on the run. And Chili Killen had it stripped away. End-to-end racing here. Ends up with Mitchell to the goal, and he missed the layup. Elmore James to A.J. Brown, and order is restored. Jalen Hunter tries to bang down a 3. Doesn't. Rebound Marshall.
Just a lot of misses from 3 for Ohio. Way off on the number there. Trying to get some transition going.
Martin got twisted around, lost the dribble initially, and had to look for friends.
Tough matchup. Jalen Hunter on Martin, the big, underneath the basket.
And a travel that was sized up for about 10 seconds. Voyles was right in front of the Marshall bench, and I don't know if the count was on or not, but then the travel came.
Yeah, Dan D'Antoni unhappy. Marshall bench and first-row Marshall fans very unhappy with that last possession and a couple starts, but Ohio gets the ball, period.
You wonder about what the pace does to shooting accuracy and all that. Now, this isn't dissimilar to a lot of other games because you might be at a 38 tie at this point of the contest. A.J. Brown misses there, and we're looking for the second half's first field goal make.
Brown back off that injury, left that shoulder late first half.
And in Chili Killen had it ripped away, and a tie-up, and that earns a possession for Ohio.
Turnover 10 on Marshall, and Ohio gets one back. Fights for, he's got to value these possessions, especially if the pace was on the slower side in the first. I think Ohio and Marshall want to be a lot faster in this second half.
So Jalen Hunter, who had 7 in the first half, 3 and 9 from the field. Sharif Mitchell on a power take. Ends up with Elmore James, splits 2, runs into the lane. Clayton can hit that, and he doesn't on a rim out. And we're still tied at 38. Voyles to end Chili Killen.
A little sticky. That's a good look.
And for him to go into the paint, the recognition that he's there with a little leverage against guys that are smaller than him. Jalen Hunter picks up the foul, and Chili Killen will go to the line.
Yeah, and Ohio's only playing with one big, but again, that ends up with A.J. Brown and Hunter on the backside of the defense. When Clayton's your only big, and Anderson McKillen is back there, he's going to get a look over top of somebody.
And he rims the free throw out. 55% from the line. This is his 6th game this year, so he hasn't played in every game that Marshall has had. Averaged 9 and 5 last year, and it's stuck on the front iron and fell down through. And Marshall takes the lead.
Yeah, not a ton of free throw attempts for either team. Marshall 3 of 9 from the 1-point line.
So Marshall enjoying the lead. A.J. Brown, that's just too much to carry on a pass into the post. Marshall did deflect it away.
Yeah, too late. Kerfman there saw it coming, but so the big behind him. He and Connor both had a play on it.
3 times tied. That's the first lead change in this ball game, says the computer monitor.
Yeah, Ohio's been on it from jump, basically.
Marshall earns another possession on a back tap and a tip away. And a block away from A.J. Clayton, and it ends up with a little helter-skelter into the backcourt, and Kerfman gets it back for the Herd.
Yeah, Hunter almost got it for a pick 6, but Kerfman gets it back.
And Ohio's starting to pick up some fouls here. That's the 3rd on the Bobcats. Sharif Mitchell picks up the foul, and that's his 3rd, and A.J. Sheldon will check in for him.
Another situation, a mid-size Chili Killen getting fed the ball over top smaller guards, and he's going right at Mitchell, and Mitchell wants to play him strongly, and Mitchell now getting some fouls.
Just 2 points scored here in the second half. And Anachili Killen's the guy to do it. They're going to count that. With A.J. Sheldon underneath him, that's again recognition of a matchup, and Anachili Killen can complete that. He'll go to line to try to give Marshall its biggest lead of the ballgame.
Yeah, Sheldon's not going to get that offensive foul call right on the MAC logo, center of that painted lane. And you're right, this is the Kentucky version, the Rupp version of Anachili Killen.
Yeah, 22 points against the Wildcats. And again, a tough spot for them coming back from a destination tournament and to play UK right when they got back to the mainland. Bobcats looking for their first points of the second half. Jalen Hunter on a step through, stripped on the way up. And we'll see if he was in the act of shooting or not.
Bale's amount of possession really slowed down, not getting a lot of cutters or a lot of movement on that one.
Nate Martin on the foul. It's his first. And that was a gather for a shooting motion for Jalen Hunter.
And he'll take it. Always be shooting. If you think you're anywhere near being fouled, just throw something.
Last 2 games, he had 13 against Youngstown State on 4 of 13 shooting. And 2 of 10 from 3. Both sides of the floor got to be active.
Yeah, back the other way. Clayton's been really active on defense. And again, he catches up the play, slows down a little on a big righty block. He's gotten so good with the shot blocks. He's been basically baiting guys and going around him and blocking from behind.
He had 5 blocks against Delaware in the win a week ago.
He is a completely different player. Completely different player.
Bobcats trail by 1. Martin hasn't had a lot of space to operate today. 3 missed from the left side from Connor. He's hit 7 of them this year. Ohio could take the lead back on this trip. Jalen Hunter tries and does.
Up the left side. Goes to the rim. They don't really stop the ball very well, and he gets it there.
Marshall away from home this year. This is just their second true road game. Martin underneath. Reverse layup, yes. Got to work actively down there, and they do.
Got to stop the ball. You had Clayton basically on his heels trying to deal with Voyles. Tries to block the shot, doesn't foul, and Marshall has a closer there to rebound and score the 2.
Yeah, this destination tournament age, you have some teams that haven't played a whole lot of road games.
They still have the Bimini Blast.
Down the floor, layup, yes, on a power take by Connor. And the Herd fans erupt behind their bench, and Marshall is back on top.
Great effort by Connor to run the floor. Not usually a big offensive option, screener and passer, but he does a great job beating the Ohio players. Gets up there 1-on-2, but essentially has a very clean look. Up and over top the guard. Another guard trailing. Nope. James can't block that one.
Foul on A.J. Sheldon. That's
2 quick ones.
And that possession right there is ideally what Marshall would love to do.
Constant. And you saw virtually no transition points for Marshall technically in that first half.
Connor completes the 3-point play.
My dad might question, look at the film after the game, but there was not a lot of end-to-end in that first half.
Connor from Los Angeles, junior, averages 7 points per game. Gabe Wisnitzer in for Ohio. And we'll see what the Bobcats do with Jalen Hunter. Steps through, shoots, and scores. Hunter is starting to get locked in. He's got 13. That's game-high honors. Voyles for Marshall has 12.
Yep, go along with 5 assists, just 1 turn for Hunter.
Might as well shoot it, might as well hit it. They'll take a look and see if that's a 2 or a 3, but Voyles fills it up.
Yeah, you can review that in the next break.
Maybe these 2 guys, Voyles and Hunter, are going to go toe-to-toe and blow for blow in the second half. Hunter has it now. He's guarded by Connor. A.J. Sheldon with Voyles on him. Immediate timeouts coming up. A.J. Brown rises, fires, and that's a side of the backboard. Here come the Herd. Anachili Killen, big steps. Fouled on the way up. And that will get us to the under 16 immediate timeout. Pace of play, activity, and a whole lot of fun to watch when these 2 teams get together. Currently, the Herd up by 4.
Great transition move by Marshall. Sheldon gets his 3rd foul because they're not stopping the ball.
After all the rumors, Shohei Ohtani is signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for a boatload of cash. That doesn't impact this game, but that's the biggest national sports story. Here on a micro level, is it a 2 or is it a 3?
Well, we'll check this out. Voyles there right at the hash mark in front of his coaching staff. That left foot is toe on the line, and that will stay with a 2. But he's been efficient today. Most of his stuff's been closer in. It's been baseline. It's been around the hoop. He's done a really, really good job getting his points.
What do you think about Shohei staying in Los Angeles, but this time with the Dodgers?
Yeah, just going across town, so his tax bill remains the same. I think it's $700 million is what they're saying. Again, he's a star. He should be in one of the huge markets, period.
Speaking of baseball, Ohio and Marshall always get together. They got a new ballpark there. They finally have a home ballpark in Huntington that they will play at that doesn't flood all the time.
Not St. Cloud Commons, none of that. So good for them. It's taken a while. And again, that's a league with some pretty okay baseball being tried.
No doubt the Sun Belt is a very good baseball league. They'll also have an Appalachian League team.
And that's 30 years that's been gone. The Huntington Cubs were a thing, late 80s-ish? Little Matt Vasgersian on that radio, that guy. Danny remembers that.
He from West Virginia, of course, a Marshall graduate, as we talk about. Split of the pair, and the herd is up by 5. Biggest Bulls of the ball game for the guys with lighter green.
Yep, 12-6 in the second half after Ohio had a 1-point halftime lead.
Jalen Hunter starting to feel it, shooting and scoring. He thought that he was fouled. That's 15. He's been in double figures every game this year.
And Achille killing in his face there, a little bit of contact on the left arm. But again, the officials have mostly let these guys go, both sides.
Absolutely. Not a lot of fouls here unless it's been blatantly obvious. A lob to the goal underneath against traffic and in trouble. A foul on Gabe Wisnitzer as that's Chase McKee who was in the post.
Yeah, Wisnitzer, even if he'd gotten the ball, he had stepped in the end line by that point and would have been out with possession.
That is already the 7th team foul on Ohio, and that escalated quickly.
Yeah, and now that's differential. Second half, it's 7-1, so I bet Jeff Bowles' steam coming out the top of his head when he sees that scoring. Generally, you like fouls to be even. It makes it easier on the coaches and the officials for a lot of reasons.
Family lineage for the guy at the line for Marshall.
Sure. Derek McKee was pretty good as the foreman on those late 80s, early 90s Seattle Supersonics team back when there was Sonics basketball. Indiana as well after that.
Sharif Mitchell from the foul line wiggles in there. The mid-range has been a part of this ball game today. Yep. He's got 10.
Difficult twos. He hit a few of those earlier. Highest probably been from 3, period.
Extra dribbling and a steal away. Wisnitzer was the one to wall up. Aiden Hadaway gets a across the center line and a foul from behind. And the Bobcat fans with a bit of a Bronx cheer here about the foul on Marshall. It's just their second this half.
Yeah, they get Voyles for his second foul, reaching there from behind. But all it does is stops transitions. Probably a good trade for Marshall in reality. Cornish will check this thing in.
He's only been in double figures as far as minutes go in 3 games this year. Dumped down to Wisnitzer, a little too hot, and a steal away from Voyles. Hurd up by 1. And running a little bit of an offensive set here.
Yeah, 10th turn for Ohio into a half-court look.
Voyles 3 missed. Rebound Mitchell ran into Elmore James, which is a tough contact. Friendly fire.
Too many Bobcats.
Elmore James with that high arcer with the knee and leg up. And Ohio takes the lead back.
7.6 boards for Elmore James. Just pencil him in for close to a double-double.
And a throwaway. That wasn't touched by anyone. It was just out of bounds for Kerfman.
Yeah, Kerfman was trying to McKee like way down in the corner, not a shooting spot.
Marshall takes the timeout. It's a 30 extended to a full, and we'll take it 2. The ties, there haven't been all that many. There have been 3, but there have been 4 lead changes. Ohio on a 6-0 run, and the Bobcats have hit their last 3 field goals, up by 1 here in Athens. Got a good one here in Southeast Ohio. America's game is being played in Foxborough, Massachusetts right now. That's the Army-Navy football game. Black Knights lead the midshipmen 10-0 late third quarter there. You see the Marshall huddle, and Dan D'Antoni and his family, they're all go Army, beat Navy because his son Andrew attended West Point. Served in Iraq for 3.5 years, an Army captain, one of 3 sons. All 3 of his sons played college basketball, so you know when this game is done, Dan D'Antoni is going to take a look at that score to see if the Black Knights did beat the midshipmen.
Well, he said saw Army and Harvard basketball yesterday. Army now coached by former Ohio assistant Kevin Cooley.
Sharif Mitchell on a step back. Out of the timeout, Ohio's lead is 3.
Yep.
Of course, we thank Andrew D'Antoni for his service. And that game, that Army-Navy game, I love broadcasting basketball for sure, but I always love watching that game too.
Wherever it is, Franklin Field and anywhere else. 8-0 run for Ohio, though. Good run going.
Marshall is in the bonus. We see how that will impact things. That has to be the earliest into a second half in recent memory that we've seen any team really get in the bonus, and we'll see if Marshall can use that to their benefit.
And check out this personnel for Ohio, about as much length as you can put on the floor. Gabe Wisnitzer, Hadaway, Ike Cornish on top of the ball.
Yeah, interesting look. Ends up here with Crawford to Anchili Killen. He could step in, shoot, and it rims around and off. Elmore James on the rebound.
Marshall 2+ minutes without points. Ohio's on an 8-0 run.
Elmore James trying to bully his way through into the paint. He ran into Cameron Crawford. And the Birmingham, Alabama native has to be thinking he ran full on into me.
Yep, lowered some shoulder, but he's a taller guy, a lighter guy, and Elmore moved him.
Bobcats shooting 45% from the field. Marshall 54%.
Their numbers come down considerably in the second half as Ohio's gone on this run.
Sharif Mitchell can hit that, but he'll step in, run to shuttle it off to Wisnitzer, blocked away by Anachili Killen. He's hopping around. He thought it was clean. A foul on the Marshall big man, and Gabe Wisnitzer will go to the line. It's just his first.
Yeah, and Ohio trying to feed Wiz face up close to the basket. Just got there with a man under him. Doesn't complete it, but will go to the line.
Wisnitzer 5 for 10 from the foul stripe this year. He had his big game last year against these guys when Ohio lost 83-69 in Huntington. He had 15. And Wisnitzer now has 3. He took a hit to the eye last week. Bobcat fans might remember he wore goggles in the first half against Delaware.
Yeah.
But they fogged up too much on him, and he had to take them off. And so that's where he wore those goggles for just a short period of time. That caught Bobcat fans' eye.
Yeah, he's had some shot blocks in the defensive end. They've been trying to integrate him in the offense and have not been getting a ton of that done yet.
Marshall has hit the skids offensively. 10-0 run for the Bobcats. As Rob told you, they haven't scored in a while. Sharif Mitchell on the take, blocked away by Anachili Killen. And here comes the Herd galloping down the floor for a lob to the goal that's a little too tall and out of bounds. Chase McKee went up there. And Marshall's scoring drought continues.
Yeah, had to make the catch essentially beside and then behind the basket, steps over the end line. You just led him in the wrong direction at the post, and McKee will get out of there.
This is now a 3-minute scoring drought.
And those are rare. When you play as fast as they do and that many possessions in a 3-minute period, it is hard not to. Ohio's defense is ratcheted up with, again, different personnel, a little taller personnel on the floor.
See what that does to him offensively as Elmore James got tied up. The arrow is with Marshall, and that will get us to the under-12 media timeout. And pretty rare for the Herd to be stuck on a number like this. Bobcat defense doing a great job. Back in transition, too, and that's a big part of the story with Ohio on top by 5.
Yeah, defense better, but Ohio goes to break. Their ball got a little sticky with just 2 guards on the floor, but they'll take this 10-0 run.
Bobcats up by 5, 16-12 in the second half, and a 10-0 run.
Yeah, not the most efficient looks, but some mid-range stuff. Close to the basket with Elmore James, and then the Mitchell show a couple of times. Hits one from the elbow, which you have his guards getting clean looks from 15, 16, 17 feet with a drop-in for Ohio. Mitchell again, and Ohio covering up down low. And then right there, you get to the basket. Nope, back it off from 17, but hit these shots. Ohio's not hitting threes the second half. They're 0-3. But turnovers are down. Marshall hasn't hit a 3, and Ohio has made 4 of their last 5 shots.
And that's the difference between half 1 and half 2. We started off with threes falling early.
Yeah.
And that has stopped.
Bizarre. Ohio hit effectively 3 threes in the first 3.5 minutes, and since then is 1 of 15 from 3.
And trying to piece it together, and as you mentioned prior to the break, you take a look at the bench there. You see Jalen Hunter, A.J. Clayton, and A.J. Brown. Those are 3 starters that are off the floor because Ohio has elected to go a little longer here.
Yeah, there's not a ton of length in this Ohio bench, but just about as long as you can get with Gabe and Hadaway and Cornish now down at your 3. A little less ball movement, but you have your strongest guard on the floor in James and Mitchell, who's tough but even smaller.
Marshall's 2 wins over Queens,
who beat them last year in the opener, and they're welcome to D1.
And FIU.
Yeah.
Out of the timeout, Voyles, step over, 3 ball coming. And Marshall is 0 for 3 in the second half from 3. And that was a wide open look.
Yeah, they're getting decent looks. They're just not dropping. Into the first half they were. Lids back on.
And so what you do when you have the length in there, that disrupts some things for Ohio from a defensive perspective. And you might lose a little on the offensive end with this combination on the floor. But the Bobcats are up by 5. And Sharif Mitchell tried to get to the paint. That looked like it was on the way down. It was not going to reach the bucket, I don't believe. And Marshall got a good defensive play.
Yep, looping look, working Prince Martin and Anakilla Killen.
Martin, 8 points, 5 rebounds.
No, this doesn't feel like he's a focus.
Kick through for a 3 for Crawford. He's got 9. That's Marshall's 5th made 3, first of the second half, and it's a 2-point Bobcat advantage.
Yep, he got a clean corner look, probably the best shooter on the floor for them in this lineup.
So a lot of time for Hadaway, Wisnitzer, and Cornish on the floor, and Aiden blocked away by Anachili Killen, another block.
Yep, Anakilla Killen, Martin, there's a lot of good shot blockers on this floor. Haven't seen Goran Miladinovich, but they've got great coverage as a cleaner, kind of on the back end, a sweeper on this defense.
And so important there, he didn't foul with his lower half. He set his lower half, and that's the part about blocking shots that people need to realize that, yeah, you could swat it around, but if you're not set with your lower half of your body, you might foul.
Yeah, their bigger guys do not have any foul trouble today, does Marshall.
Aiden Hadaway on Martin, a little backdoor, Elmore James. So what you're seeing from Aiden Hadaway now is he's so comfortable on the floor to drop that last pass and to see his cutting teammates. And Chili Killen for 3. He can hit that. That's his 3rd made 3 this year. He hit one at Rupp, and just like that, the Herd down 2 again.
Into double figures with 12.
Sharif Mitchell thought about answering, and a whistle and a foul on Marshall. It's on Crawford.
Crawford just doesn't move enough, I don't think, for these officials' taste in terms of the fouls he gets playing defensively.
We take a look at the stat monitor.
Yeah, see if we get a look on the Anakilla Killen 2 or 3 question mark. It'll be an administrative 3 coming up, Russ. That's my guess.
We'll take a look at the monitor at the next stoppage. It was a 1-point Bobcat lead at halftime. 38-37. Jalen Hunter trying to size up Chili Killen. With a spin, leans in, contact, no foul. Goodness, A.J. Clayton is tied up. And wow.
T.
A technical foul?
Anachili Killen, I believe, is who the official pointed at, or is he going Voyles? I believe it's Anachili Killen. Something was said. It was off color. Press misunderstood. I've heard he's very polite.
So first off, that should have been a foul.
Yes, I would agree with that, though Hunter was clearly looking for contact well before the drive. He was trying to create a foul is what it felt like. But again, look at the game that's being called.
Correct.
Go with the feel of the game that's being called.
And it would be on either side of the floor. We tell
correct.
You on the other side too, but there was a good deal of contact on Jalen Hunter. Chili Killen picks up the foul. It's his 2nd. And they'll go over to the monitor here to see what's going on.
And there's no great foul disparity right now in this game. Officials have basically gotten it back to pretty close.
So they have called a foul on Obinna Chili Killen.
Officials talking to Dan D'Antoni now. Ohio coaches using this as a de facto timeout. Jalen Hunter talking to the trail official about his defender, Chili Killen, having or not having his arms up. And there you go, work the officials, Elmore James. Smiles, hugs, there. Make friends. See who Ohio assigns to take the foul shots. Class A, the tech foul ruling.
Now, to be fair, on second look, Chili Killen had his arms to his side. I thought there was more contact than there was. So it was a play on, and Jalen Hunter misses a technical free throw.
And you see that he's going to grab the ball from Clayton in kind of a hug, but you can see on the camera, Chili Killen's like smiling and talking. There was not a forceful or an angry play underneath there down low.
Hunter takes something off the second one. That was like a get-me-over fastball in baseball.
Yep, just put something, they'll call a strike. He's not going to swing anyway.
Close to the plate, get it over there as he missed the first free throw. Split the pair, Bobcats up by 3.
Ohio 9 of 10 at the line, and that's needed after the last couple weeks.
Only missed 4 in 19 attempts last time, and a 5-second violation credit Marshall's defense, and everything was just way too congested from Ohio's perspective.
No movement, nothing going on the court, no place for him to go, and a short clock, and that's turnover 12 for Ohio.
And in that case, somebody's got to run back into the backcourt.
Exactly. Someone has to come back and bail the quarterback out, so to speak. That tight end's got to roll back to you. Someone's got to make themselves available.
Speaking of football, Marshall is at the Frisco Bowl against Texas San Antonio. Ohio will be in Myrtle Beach against Georgia Southern. Blocked away by A.J. Clayton as Martin went to the rim. Man down defensively, going to the post, a little too hot. The breadbasket for Hadaway, blocked away there by Connor. Here comes Marshall down the floor, and they throw it away.
Ohio did all the right things that possession, just too fast, and Marshall gifts it right back to them. Crossover turnovers for nothing particular, and Ohio gets the ball back again.
Dan D'Antoni's just going for a walk now.
Yeah, he might just step out low, like pull a Bo Jackson, head out the tunnel, and just keep going. He's only down 3. But
It's
frustrated.
Been a pretty haphazard sort of half. Aiden Hadaway's open, shooting and banging down to 3. For Hadaway, that is his second made field goal. That's his first made 3 today. That's 5 made triples for the Bobcats. And Chili Killen with a whole lot of contact. Goes down hard. Hopefully he's okay.
He got almost horizontal. That was a cross body block, and he happens to collide with A.J. Clayton, who's also in midair in the paint there. That was a wild play, but because Clayton's in midair, that's not going to be an offensive foul. Ohio's not going to get that whistle. Ton of energy out of Chili Killen.
4 made 3s on the year now for Aiden Hadaway. And Chili Killen to the line. 11 points, 4 rebounds.
Like his game, feels like he will do anything that's asked.
And I'm told there was a restaurant in Huntington that would have been a really good NIL opportunity for him.
Yeah, Chili Willie's, I believe. Downtown, and they moved at some point.
That would have been a natural. In the days of the NIL and the transfer portal.
Almost got horizontal there. 2-possession lead, but just barely for Ohio.
Jalen Hunter trying to size it up. They get Martin on him in a switch. And a 3 from straight on. Rimmed off, tipped around. Here comes Marshall.
If the big man's on, you dribble by him.
Nice take to the goal and a miss of a layup, but they called the foul.
Connor, rare offensive take, but he was set up for that corner 3, then decks it. Get the foul call. Jeff Bowles is pretty full hot about it. Hadaway is going to work the official here and get his 3rd foul.
And I don't know if it's circumstantial or what, but I don't know if Aiden's ever committed a foul in his own mind.
That's true. He always denies responsibility. I don't know if that's
on the foul. And
he's younger. I mean, you have to take responsibility occasionally. Raise your hand, be like, yeah, I probably did that.
Remember back in the day where you used to have to raise your hand?
Acknowledge the sin. And that one's missed.
These two teams in the second half, 38% from the field for Ohio, 40% from Marshall.
Both have just 1 3. But Ohio has 2 more makes on 6 more shots. Ohio's not making shots.
Connor splits the pair. And the Bobcat lead is 3. Still oodles of time left in this ball game.
Ohio's getting a ton of offensive boards. That's a lot of difference here, too. We'll look at it. Not as much transition as you hope, but plenty of glass.
Bobcats never led in Huntington last year. A little revenge on their mind today. Rebound and Chili Killen. We'll see if tempo starts to pick up here for Marshall. Voyles on the drive. Shut off. Ball knocked away. And Chili Killen had it. Hit the official. And it will stay on that side of the floor unless there's an overrule.
Might get a correction. Officials discussing. Dan D'Antoni discussing. Great effort by Ohio, by James to punch it out. And it's Ohio basketball.
Under 8 media timeout. Bobcats on top by 3. Ohio is up by 1 at the break. Going to get real spicy here in Southeast Ohio as we approach the stretch run.
Live.
A lot of possessions where these two teams trying to feel each other out. A little bit of room to try to get to the goal. Shooting not exactly high level right now, but still an entertaining ball game. Cats and Herd.
Yeah, Marshall scoreless for about 2.5 minutes right now. Ohio with more shots in the second half, more makes, same number from three. Marshall's been in the line a little bit more, but basically, Marshall's not gotten this game into the transition and the pace they want. It's still very few fast break points in this game. And Ohio just seems to be a little better effort, a little more working on defense.
You should probably ask Dan D'Antoni about some recommendations in South Carolina for next week.
He would know, and it's funny, I live in West Virginia, and allegedly that's where everyone from West Virginia vacations, but I've rarely been there. Last time I was there was Ohio basketball, and about 20 years before that.
Marshall, I believe, was in the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
They know how to do this. They know where the turquoise field is.
Bobcat ball out of the under 8. And back to your standard look, sans 1, and A.J. Sheldon on the floor. Good ball movement. Jalen Hunter, rhythm dribble, relocates, and misses the three. He's not going to miss many of those. So Ohio got everything it wanted out of that offensive possession.
Yeah, threes is not dropping for either team in the second half. It's been easier twos.
Step back three on the way to tie. And again, to your point, it's just not fallen. And this is banged around a couple of times, a kick ball. And in a scrum, Marshall gets it because the kick occurred potentially from Elmore James, who was already on the floor.
Yeah, before he recovered the fumble, so to speak, he was sitting there on his backside in the green-painted lane, pretty deep in there. Towel guys back out there because everyone is working so hard today.
Yeah, this is the type of game where perspiration is at a season high.
Warm day and warm in this building. They've turned on the winter heating system, but it's legit 55, 60 outdoors.
Off of the inbound turn, shot, and a make. That's a really nice play out of the inbound for Kevon Voyles, the UMass, University of Maryland Eastern Shore transfer. Good ball player, and it's a one-point game again.
Love Salisbury. It just feels like they've lost focus on him. They've not gotten the ball in a very long time.
There's been a lull here of lack of offense, and no one's been able to separate. So all of a sudden, you've got 6 and change left in the game. And Jalen Hunter's open, and he bangs down to 3. I think he thought he was fouled, too. Hunter has 19. That's Ohio's 6th made 3. And the Bobcats are up by 4.
He was hopeful. This was second 3 of the second half.
Remember, Marshall's been in the bonus for ages here in the second half. Martin hangs. Good defense for A.J. Clayton.
I don't think he fouled him. I'm not sure he blocked it. That was just short.
Back to James. Trying to work on it, and Chili killing. Stop, kick, wide open, then coverage on A.J. Brown. Marshall has closed pretty well on shooters here.
And they gave Clayton credit for a block on that one. He's got a bunch today.
A.J. for 3. Off to the left, Martin on the rebound for Marshall.
That's block 5 or 6 for Clayton today.
He had 5 against Delaware a week ago. Ball deflected, taken back, skip pass, open. It's Kerfman for 3. But a long rebound tracked down by Connor. Voyles in the paint. A little haphazard, up with contact, thought there was a foul.
No.
And the ball is deflected away, ends up with Martin. Voyles now.
He got it back.
And in Chile killing on A.J. Brown, and a foul on A.J. And Jeff Bowles is beside himself on the Bobcat bench.
Fairly soft mid-paint foul compared to some of the other things that have been called today. It's been a fairly consistent game on officiating, but that's a little soft.
So, and in Chile killing will go to the foul line. Yeah,
Jeff Bowles is saying offensive foul. 2-5 does it every time. He uses his body well. He is strong, but he gets the line.
5 for 10 from the line. Marshall 8 of 18. And the Herd now down by 3. And Ohio will substitute Aiden Hadaway into the game. Remember, it was a 1-point halftime lead for Ohio. The Bobcats have D'd up pretty well. And Marshall, in their haphazard nature on offense, 1 of its last 7. But when you're in the bonus, you can get bailed out. It's 2 shots now.
Yeah, they've just not strung things together. And not, again, this is not their specialty. They've not tried to force feed the ball and get to the line. You've not seen Martin getting a ton of touches.
Next foul, Ohio finally shoots. Aiden Hadaway getting comfortable with more playing time. Ends up with Sharif Mitchell trying to body his way down on Kerfman. A.J. Brown, long 2. Popped out of there, no. Rebound Hadaway, goes up, hacked, no call. Rebound Marshall.
1-on-3, 1-on-4, but he really couldn't pass out of that. He was so covered.
Now also, to be fair, Ohio's bench did not lose their mind there.
Did not.
Looking for a call. This is a Connor drive on Clayton. Missed the bank. They're letting everything go. How many of these games have we seen early this year where fouls would have been called on the regular for all of these trips?
I'm kind of okay with it if it's consistent. That's all you should ask.
These two teams haven't scored in a while.
Marshall won their last 8. Ohio won their last 7. Yuck.
A lot of hands. A.J. Sheldon's over there. A little ball fake and a float. Barely hit the iron, but he got that back. And Ohio gets to reset.
Right back at him. Strong side. Comes to him. He falls down, gets it back, and Ohio can burn some more clock. Under 4.
Mitchell ended the timer. Ends up with A.J. Brown for 3. Clayton had it, had to go up with it, but there was enough of a rebound control. There is no shot clock violation. And here comes the Herd, and they throw it away. Annan Chile Killen thought that Martin was going to cut towards the goal. Didn't. He's not happy. Assistant coaches have to settle him down. 3-point lead Ohio, coming down to closing time at the Convo, and meeting 108 all time between these regional rivals.
Live.
Game 9 for both of these ball clubs. Tight one coming down late. The way Marshall's schedule is set up, they have a lot of games before the calendar flips to 2024. You've got good competition there. Toledo and Marshall played some entertaining games before. Marshall won by 15 over them last time out, but Greensboro won the tournament in the Bahamas. Non-D1 Bluefield. UNC Wilmington is at the top of the CAA. And then Louisiana picked near the top of the Sun Belt to open things up, conference play. And all of that is before New Year's.
Yeah, essentially less than 3 weeks. Louisiana tough out in their league.
And again, the Max Sun Belt Challenge has the second game component, and that's at the Sun Belt home sites in February. It's kind of like the Bracket Buster. Remember that?
We'll go someplace warmer, or Huntington.
I'd be fine with all of that. All right. Down the stretch here, and there haven't been a whole lot of points recently. Sharif Mitchell on a dump down to A.J. Clayton, who missed the layup, but a foul. And Marshall not happy with that, so the Bobcats will go to the line.
Wasn't a ton of contact. On the prior possessions, before you just went to break, Clayton got the ball stripped and looked like he had his shoulder, right shoulder hit. He was grimacing really strongly out of that. See how he is with this shot in these last 3 minutes.
Looks fine.
Looks great. see where he's come from, both strength-wise and defensively, just over this last year from where he was when he first got here as basically a 17-year-old.
Well, the difference is to intertwine the two in his game because he was primarily catch and shoot, and he can do that. But coming into the ball game today, he was 13 for 20 from 2, 16 to 32 from 3, so he could fill it up from everywhere.
And look at that defense, another 5-block game. Someone's going to start noticing.
And out of that timeout with Ann and Chili Killen going to the rack, missing the layup. Let's go downstairs to Sam Hyman. What do you got?
Yeah, guys, quickly on Coach D'Antoni in the huddle. He said twice to his guys and looked everybody in the eye, we got to get stops. We got to get and that was a huge message in the huddle just a moment ago.
Trying to get a stop on A.J. Clayton. They fouled, and they'll go to the line.
Go to the line, look for some more one-point shots. These teams combined are 2 of their last 18 shooting. Lid has gone on anywhere but the one-point line.
Bobcats pick third in the MAC. Marshall right there in the middle of the Sun Belt. It's a big league.
The 14-team Sun Belt, I believe. What was that poster they had out a couple weeks ago? They had, every team in the league eligible for a bowl except 2? Something like that?
Yeah, Marshall had to win over Arkansas State in their season finale to get to bowl eligibility. A.J. Clayton at the line, and it gets 2. 7-point lead here for Ohio.
Clayton Smell not in double figures yet. It feels like he's had the ball a ton today.
There's been a lot of activity around him.
Yep, 8 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks. Yep.
And then Chili Killen gets the dunk, but the foul occurred prior to that on the floor, prior to the pass, but it's all a 2-shot foul anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Drive into Hadaway there for Kerfman. Kerfman, I think, took like the first 3 shots of the game or something, then went to vapor. We haven't seen a ton of him on the offensive side.
9 on 3 of 9 shooting. All of the makes have been from beyond the long line.
Yeah, looked like he thought he was option 1 in the first 4 minutes of this game.
And the way that VMI, his former school, used to play, they don't do it as much anymore.
I love that.
Is similar to what Marshall would ideally like to run.
Yeah, the Duggar Balcom speed up program looks a lot like this, and that's how John Elmore got to Marshall back from VMI.
And
he's okay.
What they've done in the summer has been really entertaining. We've heard that in the basketball.
No, they've done very,
tournament.
very well in the pros summer outing. They all do now.
Of course, Ohio has 1804 too. 2 years ago did well as well. Did not play this past year, but that's another interesting element of basketball now. A.J. Clayton into the post on Ann and Chili Killen, trying to root out some room, and he scores.
Double figures.
He has 10. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double. Bobcats on top by 7. A deep 3 for Kerfman. Bangs that down, and a timeout for Marshall. His first make in a long time.
Yep.
And that 3 is Marshall's 6th. That's his 4th.
Yeah, that's the first Marshall field goal in nearly 5 minutes. And a Marshall offense at this pace doesn't go to sleep for 5 minutes. Ohio's defense has worked pretty well, and Ohio's rebounded to keep Marshall from getting those second looks.
The amount of lulls in this game, probably higher and more than a lot of people would have anticipated.
Yeah, especially for two high-paced teams, absolutely.
So the way the non-conference schedule has worked out for Ohio, the Bobcats don't have as many games before the calendar flips. The next game is against Defiance, and that's Monday, December the 18th. That's after we come back from Myrtle Beach and Ohio football against Georgia Southern. Austin Peay, probably about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Nashville. New building there. The Govs out of the A-Sun, used to be the OVC. And then up to Cleveland for Davidson.
Yeah, Davidson on the 30th is part of a three-game show at the Cavs ring. Then we jump right into the league schedule.
And Davidson's had a couple, just a few, two blowout losses, but largely they've taken care of business. Beat Miami today.
Yes, in a big way.
Marshall trying to turn up the heat. Under 2 minutes left. Remember, fouls, there were a lot of them early on, and Marshall has not capitalized enough getting to the line. To Ohio's credit, they haven't fouled a ton after that.
No, and they've not turned Ohio over a ton in the second half.
Sharif Mitchell on Voyles. Over to Hunter, back to Sharif. Good ball movement here. Elmore James trying to hunt the rim, missed the layup, hit the underside. Marshall defended without fouling, and here comes the Herd. Crawford up to the top. He's open, he's shooting, and he bangs down a three, and the Herd's down by one.
And that's the danger. You've got to stand on his toes.
So all of a sudden, there haven't been a ton of points here in the second half.
But 6-0 real fast.
That's right. And so therefore, you get a couple of makes, and it's real tight.
And Ohio's got great handlers on the floor right now in Mitchell and in Hunter.
And the foul line will be important for both ball clubs here. Under a minute left, Mitchell misses the contested two. Clayton had that go off his hand, and they're going to review it. If it's Bobcat ball, it's late timer. There's 5. Now, that shot didn't hit the iron, so that will be important.
And they realize, they don't have plenty of time to realize it here as the officials will look and see who was on the in line, who tipped the ball, if anyone.
See Lamar Thornton there in the Bobcat huddle. Mitchell, that was good defense by Crawford. Ended up with Tyler Congrove on the Bobcat bench.
Yeah, Martin was trying to sweep it in toward Clayton, so we go off of Clayton. I'm not sure he succeeded, but we don't have a look, and we're kind of blocked by Clayton's body in the video we were able to see moments ago. Martin was a smart play. He thought he had hit it last, and then he tried to tap it off of Clayton. Here's the handheld coming from under the basket, and you see what there, that's a slap down from Martin. I think it probably hits Clayton again, but I'm not sure.
Call on the floor was Marshall ball.
I think it'll stick that way, but we'll see if they have any other looks. That handheld was really good down there.
Last year, Ohio had 69 points in Huntington. The Bobcats have 69 points today, but the difference is the Herd last year at 83. Marshall today is 68.
It's been really competitive. It's really never gotten out of hand in one direction or the other. But Ohio never created a ton of separation, never got it out to that double figures for long, if at all.
It will be Ohio ball.
Wow.
And as I was saying, the call on the floor was Marshall. I had to think, did we ever really get an official word as to who had it prior to going to the review?
I'm not sure if there was I don't think there was not a strong on-court call saying this is what it is now. Do we reverse it or have enough video to reverse it? Dan D'Antoni not happy if that's the final word on this one. These guys are back at the monitor.
Does he look unhappy there to you?
I'm assuming he's unhappy if Ohio's getting the ball. I think generally he's a pretty jovial dude. Certainly interesting to talk to. His coaches go, a guy that has a lot to say, is pretty entertaining.
The oldest head coach in the country after Cliff Ellis retired. Then it's Leonard Hamilton at Florida State at 75.
Wow.
Fran Dunphy, who is at LaSalle. He's just trying to make the whole tour in the Big Five. He's at 75 years old.
Doesn't want to have to move.
Jim Larinaga, 74 at Miami. And Rick Pitino at St. John's at 71. They're just getting better, aren't they?
Ohio inbound, very short clock coming up.
5 on the timer, as you see. Possession arrow with Marshall. And off of the inbound. Jalen Hunter stepped back, got a man up, fires and misses the 3. Marshall gets it on a bust out here. And the Herd will have it.
Flattened out. I think he was concentrating too much on trying to get contact on that shot.
Kerfman directing traffic. He just barely got across the timeline as he was trying to set everything up. Differential of about 15 seconds, game clock and shot clock. This is Kerfman to Martin. Running start to Ananchili Killen for three. Banked in! Marshall takes a 2-point lead, 71-69. Second made three on the day, fourth on his year, and he banked it in.
Nice open catch, nice find. Hadaway, a hair late to get there, just didn't stretch out. That was a pretty good-sized window for a shooter.
They're looking at the monitor to see if it was a three. Rob, your thoughts?
Good question, and that's what we've been wondering about these all day. We've had several right in front of this Marshall bench, but two or three, it's a Marshall lead. It's one or two.
So now, the Bobcats have to draw up that final play. They're going to bring the teams back on the floor. And it is a three.
Ananchili Killen, that's 17 today. That's his only three, 17 and 5, and get a little better look at this one. And that's just a great spot by their big man. Sets a little screen on Hadaway.
We're blocked by Kerfman there.
That front foot there, that right foot, he takes an uneven stance. That front foot may or may not have been in the line, but it's a done decision now.
Here we go. Bobcats race across the timeline here, and they'll call the timeout. One left. 71-69 Marshall. The Bobcats were up by one at halftime. And in a game that's had droughts, it's a 9-0 Marshall run over the last 104 seconds.
And a heck of a time for it to happen. They couldn't hit the side of, couldn't hit water, the side of the barn, or whatever second half. They made 3 threes in a row in that 9-0 run. Ohio's gone 1 of 9 in their last 9 free throws and given this lead, their last 9 field goals and given this lead back.
So now comes the decision. Do you work this as you're playing to tie? Do you try to get to the line? Or do you try to take it down for a game-winning three?
And personnel, they've checked in A.J. Brown as well. They've gone basically back to that starting lineup.
So to rely on a three when you're 6 of 25 from three is a bit dangerous.
Yeah, it certainly has been. Ohio has shot threes at volume, but is 24% on the game and has not been hot there.
There you see that the game reset. The important part here, which still stays on your screen, is if there's a tie-up, it's Marshall ball.
Yep, they have the arrow.
So here we go, coming down to the wire in this rivalry game. Sharif Mitchell to Jalen Hunter, and Hunter missed that layup and a foul on Ohio at 9.6 seconds left. They had the right idea to get to the rim. They just missed the layup.
Ananchili Killen gets the rebound, immediately fouled by Clayton, and Martin takes a little shot up high. Teammates checking on him. He's going to be okay. A lot of contact there in the middle with the two bigger players on the floor for Marshall.
I really like the idea of getting to the rim for Ohio when you're struggling from deep, and you try to just advance the game. Hunter got up in the air, went down to the floor, and it looked like Ananchili Killen was trying to call a timeout, but he'll go to the line. This is a 2-shot foul. So even on a miss, from Ohio's perspective, you could gather and get down the floor and get to the rim.
Ananchili Killen hits perhaps the game-winning shot, but is 6 of 13 from the free throw line.
Marshall 11 of 23, and he hits the free throw. Timeout, Marshall. So 9.6 seconds left.
And you absolutely now are playing for a three.
This is a 12-2 run for Marshall. Ohio has gone on a drought, one of its last 10 from the field.
Yep, hasn't scored in 2 minutes. Marshall's 10-0 run in about just under that 2-minute period. You were waiting if you were Ohio in the sky. You were concerned when or if is Marshall going to get well. Marshall's a team that shoots a million threes, but only in one game this season where they've been vaguely over 30% from three. Today, 8 of 18, 44%, 4 of 10 late, 3 in a row to close. You knew they had that in their holster, but it hadn't been seen all season.
26% from three coming in, and they give it up at 37%. And so now comes the question, will Marshall foul? It is a 1-1 if they do. And up by 3.
That's consideration, and that's usually the call. In this era, fouling up 3 is the call.
So both teams have had to kind kind of survive through scoring lows, but the problem here for Ohio is this scoring low has happened at the absolute wrong time.
Yeah. You've gone dark at the into the second half and had trouble from 2 and 3 in the second. You're shooting 29% second half.
So it's a give and take. When Ohio went longer, you took some offense off the floor for an extended period of time.
Saw some different lineups, saw some more defensive, saw that longer lineup for a while. But again, this 3 for 3 from 3 has happened just in a 2-minute span here. It's burst.
So the question is, with the length of the floor to go and down by 3, will Ohio get a look at a 3? And it appears that Mitchell is going to get fouled. He is.
Took him to a half court to get it done, but Kerfman.
He was trying all the way back.
Yep.
So there's the state silhouette of Ohio on the floor, and they were fouling around Cincinnati.
Yeah, fouling Cincinnati didn't get called till beyond Ironton.
So now, with 6:2 left, comes the question of, do you play the long game here in 2 free throws? Do you try to make both? It's a 1-on-1, and that's all moot now, and a foul on the rebound.
Voyles with the catch. He can close, and the foul by Hunter.
So it came down to the line, and Sharif Mitchell missed the front end of the 1-on-1, and any kind of decision on do you miss the second on purpose or what do you do, it all is predicated on hitting the first free throw.
It's moot, and it happens on the day when Ohio was 13 of 15 on the line, nearly 90%, and look to have fixed that today, but the one you apparently needed, this final 5 seconds didn't drop.
And there's no better cheer for visiting fans than being pretty loud and chanting a "Let's go your school" when you're on the road. And that's what Marshall fans have done behind their bench. This is not as big of a traveling crowd as we've seen here at the Convo over the years, but they've had something to cheer about.
No, there are folks here from Wahama, there are folks here from Mingo County.
And they have brought on the Herd to a 4-point lead.
4 in double figures for the Herd, 18 for Anachili Killen, 17 now for Voyles at the line, 14 for Kirkman, and 12 for Crawford off the bench.
It was a 1-point Bobcat lead at halftime. And a 13-2 Marshall run here. And to close that up, it's 11-0 after the last 156.
It's burst. You hadn't seen this. You haven't seen them make threes, alone stack threes, until the last 2.5 minutes of this game. You knew it was there, but Marshall's not had a game where they've shot the three with really any proficiency so far this year. They found it today in Athens.
I'd have to go back to find the last time, if Ohio doesn't have a miracle here, the last time Ohio's dropped back-to-back non-conference games at the Convo. Remember, 52-11 under Jeff Bowles here, and over the last 3 years, Ohio's now dropped, just 4 games.
Yeah, protecting this building and across the street protecting the Frank have been critical, and the German team Ohio's done in recent years very strongly.
And give Marshall credit, a 2-6 ball club. They've beat FIU and Queens, but this, their second true road game of the year. And the first one was Kentucky. Voyles hits the free throw. It is a 5-point Marshall lead. Jalen Hunter will fire from 3. Miss it, and this one is painted lighter green, black and white. The Herd thunders past Ohio with a 12-0 run to close, and Marshall wins by 5 in Southeast Ohio, the 51st all-time win for Marshall in this series.
Yeah, crushing close for the Herd, but they finally start hitting some threes, get out-rebounded badly in this game with the shooting finally.
108th time. Last time in this building, Ohio won 75-65. That was in the 21-22 season. Bring on the Cats, bring on the Herd, bring on the infotainment here from Athens as Ohio will control the tip. And yes, again, Ohio's shade of green, as you see in Arched Ohio at center jump, a little bit darker than that of the Thundering Herd green. I like these black uniforms with the script Marshall in white. It's a good look for both sides. Elmore James to the rack, missed the floater, got it back. Sharif Mitchell, and the ball deflected. A.J. Brown trying to settle back into things. He's had a tough couple of games. This could be the longest possession of the game, and it's the first possession. Sharif Mitchell, end of the timer. Back to James, extra passing. A.J. Brown got to fire it up, and he missed it from 3. And Ohio's going to get a third crack here with 2 offensive boards.
Yep, boards, got to move the ball around a little. Marshall's playing the 5th highest tempo in America.
Sharif Mitchell had his shot blocked and a foul on the rebound on Elmore James. He came crashing into Nate Martin.
Yeah, the deflection changed Elmore's timing. He ended up getting there too early. Pops Martin, and that's a quick early foul. Ohio's number 1.
So Elmore James picks it up. You see him there, Comac Player of the Week, Elmore James. 17 points per game in the last 3. He's shooting at 63%.
He boards a ton. He's the 6'3" guy most likely to double-double in this league every night.
Kerfman around the corner. Missed it with an A.J. Clayton rebound. The tempo. Will it really be a track meet today? We've seen defense early on. Jalen Hunter thought about the 3. He'll drive in on Ananchili Killen and has to kick it around. A.J. Brown tees up a 3. And a bang for A.J. Brown. And for him, that has to feel really good. That's his 10th made 3. The ball club's 62nd this year. And quickly down the floor, here come the Cats again.
Good D by Ohio. Good recovery by Clayton covering a guard.
Jalen Hunter bangs down a 3. And Ohio's up to a 6-0 start. Jalen Hunter has been in double figures in every game for the Bobcats this year. Averages 16 and 4. That's his 13th made 3. And he was 2 for 10 in his last 2 games from 3. The Herd misses there, and here come the Cats on the run. This is more of what we thought this game would be. A.J. Clayton misses the 3. Pinballed out of there.
Thought that was going down. Marshall is not stopping the 3 at a high rate. 300th in the country.
Voyles goes into the post and flipped it in. He's a Maryland Eastern Shore transfer. Did really well there. At 27 in the game last season against South Carolina State. Averages 14 points per game. And the Herd gets their first bucket.
Pure scorer. Takes a ton of shots, though.
Sharif Mitchell. And interesting to see these 2 guys work together. Jalen Hunter from way deep is an air ball. Connor on the rebound. He reels in 4 of those a game. They want to get quickly down the floor. Ball's popped around like a hot potato. And here come the Cats.
Turned him over, and that's with Brown and Hunter on the back end of that defense.
Wide open Elmore James for 3. Bangs that down. And Ohio's having a bang brigade early. And Dan D'Antoni of the Thundering Herd has to take a timeout to talk about it.
Ohio makes 3 of their last 4 from 3. James passed on the prior 3-point attempt in the corner. That one he drains.
The Bobcats outscored the opposition 80-75 on average. The Herds outscored 81-74 on average. And this is what Ohio needed to have to start off because the offense was pretty sluggish. The ball was pretty sticky against the Penguins.
It got sticky on the ball handlers, and that was definitely some on Mitchell, some on Hunter. But for Ohio, a fast start, 3 early threes, forcing a Marshall timeout, got everything you want out of the first 3 minutes.
Bobcats had just 7 threes the whole game against Youngstown State.
And Ohio can play at Marshall's pace. Frankly, I think Ohio wants to. And Ohio's had some very high-scoring games this year and last. Jeff Bowles giving a little instruction to his guys and loves the first period of this game he's seen.
At the coach's show on Thursday, I asked him how he was, and at first he said good, and then after that he said, I'm terrible, because it was the day after the loss.
And he had been sick before that.
That's right. That was a week ago in this building, and a 1-point win over Delaware. Marshall's not going to be shy about trying to shoot up a 3, and that's Camden Kerfman. That's his 20th this year. Played at VMI for 3 years, and Marshall's down by 4.
Plays a ton of minutes, takes about a quarter of their shots when he's on the floor.
Got to be shot ready in this game because it's going to be a quick pass, it's going to be a quick opportunity, and you're either going to make or miss. Marshall with it with Jacob Connor. Los Angeles native into the post. A pretty take for Voyles. And the Herd is down by 2 that quickly.
Can't give him the baseline. When he's on the court, the ball does get sticky with him. He takes 31% of their shots. That's a lot for a lead guard.
Media timeout coming up. Going to have to work quickly in this game. Elmore James was blocked by the net. Good help side defense by Marshall. And just like that, the Herd can tie with the 2, take a lead with the 3. Early stages of what figures to be a track meet. Deep 3, Kerfman just barely tickled the underside of the twine, and that gets us to the media timeout.
We've seen a couple unwise long threes, one for each team, but Ohio with a possession lead of the under 16, Russ.
Ooh, you better get your oxygen. You better get up and down the floor in this ball game. You can't step away for too long, but we will for the under 16 beating a timeout. 9-7 Bobcats early.
Get a job, save a little, take out a mortgage, buy a house. Get a job, save a little, take out a mortgage, buy a house. Get a job, save a little, take out a mortgage, buy a house. Get a job, save a little, apply for a mortgage, get a second job, get some roommates, rent a house. Realize the only generation that's going to fix this is yours, and start building.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or just in time for the holidays, get $4,000 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $2,500 purchase allowance. We are professional grade. GMC.
Did you see that? Yep. Looks like rain. Also looks like McDelivery. Order McDelivery in the app.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves my flavor.
Bobcats up 2 early on. In the middle of that huddle is the very likable Dan D'Antoni, the head coach of the Herd. He's in his 10th season, and he is now the oldest head coach on the Division I level in America. When Cliff Ellis retired from Coastal Carolina at the age of 78, D'Antoni 76, and at the press conference this past week in Huntington, he celebrated the fact, and he said he was number one, and he is now. And he's a fun guy to be around, honest guy to be around,
Yeah.
and the Herd means a lot to him.
Yeah, and obviously as an alum, but he's had such an interesting story. Obviously, a lot of folks know about his brother, but he came up, did some time in the pros with his brother, was an outstanding high school coach in the Myrtle Beach area where we're going next week.
Then on the flip side, you have 2 alums of their programs coaching today. As you see Coach D'Antoni there. The flip side for Jeff Bowles in Ohio. He is obviously an alum of this school and spent time in Huntington, too. And Jeff talked fondly about his time as an assistant coach in the late 90s and early 2000s there.
Yep, working with Greg White and players like Tamar Slay and J.R. Van Hoos, and met his wife in Charleston when he was there coaching as well.
Yeah, multiple stints at Division II Charleston, the capital city of Wild and Wonderful. And cool that these 2 programs continue the rivalry and a travel for Elmore James. And I did ask Jeff Bowles about renewing the rivalry. This is the back end of a 4-year contract in this series. And it is something that he and Marshall, they believe, would like to continue. And it's a natural game to play.
I think it's hard not to play this one. There's no beef, no football-style beef in this series.
And I wonder if these 2 teams are going to get paired up for the back end of the Sun Belt Challenge in February.
It would save a flight for everyone involved.
Why not? We love heading down to Huntington. And there's the first take to the goal for Nate Martin. A double-double machine for the Herd. He's got 5 of them. He had 4 in a row, and that was broken with just 4 points and 11 boards the other night.
They probably need to feed him more. He gets a lot of his stuff on offensive boards and secondary action. I'm not sure why they don't run more plays to him.
Aiden Hadaway is finding his way. Goes to the rim there. The confidence for Hadaway. He had a career high the other night of 14. He was 6 of 10 from the field, and he puts the Bobcats back up by 2.
Does a good job cutting and running to space in a hockey sense.
Well, somebody had to step up. Here's Voyles, misses the 3. Marshall will continue to take them no matter what. Sharif Mitchell on the run. They don't stop him. He shoots, and he scores. Sharif Mitchell, long in the tooth as a player, played in so many big games at Creighton as a defensive stopper, scoring now. Bobcats up 4.
He has figured it out very quickly to get on the floor with this roster and stay there. 5 on 3 coming.
Bobcats might have gotten away with a push-off on the rebound. Elmore James wide open from here to Cleveland, and he misses the 3. And a rebound for Voyles, who is from Virginia, 6'3", 198, grad student, and a nice find for the Herd. Wide open, and a Chili Killen turns, banked it in. So long, big loping steps, but he he has a nice compact movement when he gets up into shooting form.
Yep, makes good decisions shooting the ball, and obviously gets an easy face-up kind of downhill there from about 5 feet.
And he had a big game against Kentucky. He had 22.
Someone had to.
Into the post, A.J. Clayton rocks the rim. Like we told you, got to be shot ready and find the holes in the defense in this fast-paced game.
Well, Mitchell and Hunter can find you fast. You've got to have your hands up.
Backdoor, knocked away Clayton. That's on the scout.
Yep. Crowd there. Too many Marshall players at the top, threw right into a defender.
And a nice, comfortable, confident long two for Sharif Mitchell. Not so much a long two. That's the mid-range game, and he's done that a lot this year already.
He can take those. The rule at Marshall is you don't take mid-range.
You better be beyond the long line. There's a chance, and there's a three.
Pretty.
Kerfman.
He has no shame. He is going to put him up. He gets the ball. He takes the shot.
Out of Maryland, VMI transfer. Averaged 5 points, 4 boards for the Herd last year. He had 18 against Radford earlier this year. That was a neutral site game in West Virginia, Rob.
Yeah, the Radford game played at the Greenbrier on the little ballroom floor.
Ah, beautiful. And a bump out high. And we haven't seen many fouls yet. That's just the first on Marshall. And how you're going to use the bench here is going to be important today. Camden Kerfman on the foul. And Marshall will get some substitutes into the ball game too.
A lot of teams want Kerfman in this transfer portal, NIL heavy America we sit in right now. There was a lot of demand for him coming out of VMI.
New into the ball game for Ohio is Gabe Wisnitzer. You see him 11. He had a big ball game against Marshall last year. The Wiz, one of the few in a game in which Ohio didn't lead. 15 points. Oh, what a pretty find. And Sharif Mitchell's always going to notice who the dime gets dropped by, and Aiden Hadaway was that guy. Bobcats up by 5.
Yep, high to low, put Mitchell down in the little lane in the house. Tiny guy, but he has an open shot.
Using the space on the drive, Voyles. Ooh, that's pretty on a take. Once you turn the corner, you better have somebody there if you're on defense, and he real quick down the lane.
Aggressive veteran. I like his shot selection so far. He's getting a lot of reasonably easy twos.
Wisnitzer, to this point this year, averaging 3 points and 3 boards. Needs some help, and there's A.J. Sheldon, averaging 12 minutes a game. Thought about the three, then the ball's deflected away. A travel was coming. The Herd fans wanted it, didn't get it. A foul comes on Marshall, and that takes us to the under 12.
Bails out Ohio a little bit on the perimeter with some of the second unit on the floor, but Ohio with a one-possession lead.
Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay down the interest on the loans. Start a side hustle just to break even. The system worked for them. Now it's time to build a system that works for us.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or $2,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Bobcats up by 3. Ohio trying for win 58 in the all-time series. One of the guys that's playing into his first Ohio-Marshall game is Sharif Mitchell. Sam Hyman has more on him from floor level.
That's right, Russ. We know that Sharif can absolutely do dominant stuff on the defensive end. He's showing up offensively today, but let's continue to highlight that defense as Bobcat fans here will recognize how good he can be. Coach Bowles said he has a lot of quickness laterally, a great disruptor, similar to Miles Brown, Aaron Kraft, even at Ohio State. An NBA comparison, Earl Boykins, not in size, but in terms of disrupting. He blows up ball screens and fights through them. Sharif, according to Coach Bowles, is one of the best defenders he has ever coached.
Good stuff, Sam. And yeah, folks here, remember Earl Boykins from his time at Eastern Michigan. And Sharif went 5-2 in 7 NCAA tournament games. Now, he wasn't playing super high minutes, but he was around for all the prep, all the big moments. And now he'll try to bang down a three. He didn't. Long rebound. Here comes Marshall. But being a part of those games in those environments helps so much a player. And stepping into a new role, he could take all of that experience with him.
Yeah, and he has to be more involved in the offense. He's used to being a player, a guy off the bench, a 7th, 8th, 9th man. He needs to look for his offense more because he can clearly get it, especially in this league and against this level. 6
games in double figures this year. Had 23 against George Washington. Had 24 against Brown. He was the Gatorade Nebraska Player of the Year in his senior year in high school. And he's averaged 18 points per game in the last 5. Ike Cornish checks in. And he's a guy, the Maryland transfer for Ohio, that just hasn't been able to settle in just yet.
You know, you've seen flashes. You know, athletically he can deal with it, but I don't think they're sure necessarily where to play him 3, 4, 5 in this mix of a little smaller Ohio roster. And he doesn't have a subbing partner, so to speak, a guy he always comes into the game with. There's not a chemistry anyone's developed with him yet. He'll get there.
Steal, and then a rip away, and that's picked up by Crawford, and here comes the Indiana State transfer. The Sycamores having a great year. They're 7-1. And a Chili Killen with Sheldon on him, and a real strong take for Voyles to the goal. On his bio on herdzone.com, they say he's big on meditation and spirituality, and he found a little bit of calm there on a trip down the lane to put Marshall down 1.
He's finding too much calm if you're an Ohio fan, low in the paint or on the baseline.
Jalen Hunter misses the 3, picked up by the Wiz, and nobody beats him there. Bobcats up by 3.
Good work there. He had a nice shot block, couple possessions go on the other end.
A little slip to the goal, wide open on the right side. Crawford missed that 3. And A.J. Sheldon gets that loose change. Down the floor, here's Cornish. In on Ananchili Killen. Ooh, a little hesitation to his game. Was Nitzer there, brought it down on the floor. Ground ball picked up by Sheldon. Skip over to the right side. Too much wood to carry there, and it's stolen away by Voyles.
Need to skip it bigger.
And a Chili Killen can hit that shot from deep. But he could step through to the goal. They'll want the NBA continuation, won't get it. Foul in Ohio, and that's just the second foul on the Bobcats here in a relatively foul-less game. Sheldon on the foul.
A.J. Sheldon there has had a tough last 2 or 3 possessions. Had a turnover on one end, tried to get a steal back, couldn't get it, and then commits a foul there.
Sheldon plays with a real high motor. I think this game is pretty conducive to his skill set.
Looked much better in the Islands a couple games ago. Midweek night did not have much of a Wednesday against Youngstown.
Kerfman on Sheldon. They'll use Ananchili Killen to release to the goal. Pitch back here, Crawford. Knock away by Cornish. Timers at 6. Crawford with a step back 3. Ooh, end of the timer and a big old splash for the Herd. And we're tied. Nope. Yes, at 21. I thought I was reading the score wrong. It is level at 21.
Yep, slick offensive player, not playing starters minutes yet. Ball gets a little sticky with him, but he's absolutely the shooter they can use.
I beat the scoreboard and the computer. A.J. Clayton not fouled, got it back in the post. There's 3 Herd players there. Jalen Hunter point left 3. And Ohio will get another crack. This is the second 3-trip pass that Ohio has.
I think Ohio's missed their last 4 threes, but they're getting the ball back, keep getting some offensive boards.
I guarantee you there will be more shots in this game.
Oodles.
Hunter trying to size him up. Left-hand take, missed it. Good defense by Marshall there at the end. And then Hunter didn't give up on the play, and a Chili Killen falls down. And it will be Marshall ball.
Yeah, Ohio's missed their last 4, 1 of their last 7. Flip side, Marshall's hit 5 of their last 6.
The ties, there weren't many last year. In fact, there were none. So there are 2 more ties with 2 in this ball game than there were last year. Ohio just had its doors blown off in Huntington in December last season. Herd running some offense on a slip. Into the post on Clayton. The miss, the tip, and a Chili Killen had it, lost it, and Sheldon has it now for Ohio. Cornish on a take. Bumped into, no foul. High bank missed it. Oh, they're letting a whole lot of contact go in this game as if there needs to be more pace. Spinning in the lane. Sheldon knocked it away. Ground ball knocked out of bounds. Welcome to Ohio and Marshall, friends.
Yeah, and I like this whistle, frankly, letting both these teams run a little, not call a ton of fouls. You see Marshall working a little two-man game, working in big number one, Derek McKee there, off some passes from Crawford, trying to get those two guys involved in the second offensive unit.
As you see Cameron Crawford there, this is going to be a game where you're going to have to check your breath. It's not being played at altitude, but it's played at not necessarily Loyola Marymount pace from the early 90s, but it's up there.
Well, when Marshall's working, again, they're the fifth fastest offense or tempo team in America right now. They have not had great success with it this season.
A.J. Brown in the post, reversed it up and missed it, and a foul will take us to the under 8 media timeout. Two teams just sprinting up and down the floor. We've seen some haphazard takes. We've seen some good takes. You're going to get the whole cornucopia, a nice holiday sampler here, Rob C.
Yeah, but Ohio's missed 7 of their last 8 shots in the field. Maybe they'll get well at the line here at the Convo.
Tied at 21 at 7:53 for the first half.
Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay down the interest on the loans. Start a side hustle just to break even. The system worked for them. Now it's time to build a system that works for us.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or just in time for the holidays, get $4,000 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $2,500 purchase allowance. We are professional grade. GMC.
After 51 years, Popeyes is crashing the wings party with 5 flavors.
Makes no sense it took so long. Crispy outside, juicy inside.
Who are you?
We don't make sense. We make chicken. Y'all good? Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
I'm a full-time artist and business owner. I love that Cricket helps me share my artwork, create content, and stay in touch with customers.
Coverage is a beautiful thing. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Hurry, these deals end Saturday, only at Target.
Tied at 21, Marshall shooting 53%.
Yeah, good from inside and outside, and that's the cool thing you're going to see about this highlight stack. You're going to see threes. You're also going to see him get to the basket with twos there. Crawford gets involved. Voyles get to the basket pretty easily and with some regularity. Marshall's actually moving the ball pretty well. Look, they've had one game this year where there have been over 30% from three, just one, and this team shoots 1 million threes. If they're playing at this rate in this game, they're going to stay in it. They very well could win this thing.
200 threes taken this year coming into the ball game. The opposition against Marshall, 192. By comparison, Ohio took 183 coming into this ball game. The Herd 2 and 6. Ohio is 5 and 3. Tied at 21 with 7:53 in the first half. A.J. Brown will go to the foul line for Ohio.
Teams have the same number of makes, but Ohio has 7 more shots, 7 more misses, a lot more offensive touches, just haven't cashed them.
A.J. 9 for 22 from the foul stripe this year, 44%, and he's been working on it. And he hits the first free throw, and that's big. You'll see a bit of a wrap underneath his right shoulder there. He's got the white short sleeve shirt underneath the jersey top. And he's had to deal with that shoulder issue since he's been in Athens, missed the start and a couple of games throughout last year. But he hits 2 free throws to give Ohio a lead.
Yeah, when he's on, when he's right, he is one of the best in this league, period.
Ryan Nutter into the ball game for the Herd. Nutter out of Dublin, Ohio. 3 points per game. We'll see if they involve Martin here, the Texas State transfer. Underneath for a bank. Good defense as that was taken by McKee, Derek's son. And A.J. Sheldon not shy. bangs down to 3. That's Ohio's 4th. A.J. Sheldon gives the Bobcats a 5-point lead.
Yeah, corner 3 to get well from the outside. I'm with you. I'm shocked they don't run more offense to Martin.
He's there to screen. There's the slip. And Sheldon there walled him off and deterred him from that. And on the sideline was Ryan Nutter. And so a turnover for the Herd.
Yep, guy with limited minutes, that's not gonna help. And Ohio gets the 5th Marshall turnover there in front of the bench.
And Jacob Connor checks back in. See Dan D'Antoni there, and
there's that logo I like on that sleeve.
Yep, the Herd with the sailor cap, but I like the Herd that spins the ball on his hoof.
That's retro.
Slip to the goal for a rim rock for A.J. Brown. And that's teammates recognizing a guy that needs to get back hot again. Remember, he had 28 in the MAC tournament against Ball State. He's got it in him the last 2 games, hopefully an aberration. As they go to Martin in the post here, works on Clayton, and that finds the bottom of the well.
Yeah, consecutive touches to get it out there to Martin. Making up for the turnover. Let's go Nutter there. Almost gets a turn of his own, knocks it out to the Ohio bench.
You see Martin there, he was a part of Texas State's win over Marshall and Pensacola to end the Herd season last year. The Herd last season went down to the Sun Belt tournament thinking they had a pretty good shot at winning the deal. Martin had 10, and the Herd lost to the Bobcats.
Really good ad here, a screener and a cleaner for this Marshall offense.
Jalen Hunter trying to take him on. Clayton there. The close came from Crawford, but Clayton put it in, and Ohio's on top by 7.
Crawford's not a big. Clayton's still the tallest guy in there for Ohio and had an easy look.
All but Ike Cornish have gotten in the ball game and scored for Ohio, and that's Cameron Crawford. Birmingham, Alabama native. Didn't play last year. Indiana State transfer. 3 points per game 2 years ago. A.J. Brown, quick trigger. And the Herd, with 6 minutes left in the first half, trying to get a little closer. That's a bad feed, but they got bailed out on that. As you see, A.J. Brown, and it appears that the guy he was guarding has some shoulder issues, too, on that left shoulder.
Just a little bit. Opted to try and come around Martin's left shoulder. Martin was doing a good job screening him, fronting him, and Brown just couldn't clear him.
Martin had a string of 4 straight double-doubles broken up in their loss to Duquesne the other day in Huntington.
Yeah, averages 12 and 9.8 boards, so he's almost there every night regardless.
4 points right now. Skip over to left side. It's Crawford, spins his way, falls back, shoots, and it rimmed out. And A.J. Brown there, and there might be a shoulder issue.
He hurt himself on the catch is what it looked like.
And it's one of those deals where they're trying to wrap it, they're trying to work through it, and at some point during the game, he might have what he's dealing with right now. He did have a smile on his face there, so it's not his first rodeo with dealing with that right shoulder issue.
He's used to that popping or a little out of track that shoulders do. There's a lot of complications in that joint. The top of that shoulder joint, a lot of bad things can happen that are minor but hurt a lot.
And Tyler Congrove, Ohio's trainer, will take a look at A.J. Brown, and I'm sure it's a conversation they've had quite often. And they'll go back to the Bobcat locker room. There's Sharif Mitchell bumping his way, planting, spinning, shooting, and scoring. He's got 8. And that ties Voyles for game-high honors.
Yeah, dribbled in, took big contact from Martin up high, went through it.
Kick ball here at the foul line.
Good stop, good de facto stop there from Jalen Hunter to stop that Marshall possession, shorten it.
This was the time at the end of the first half against Youngstown State where the Penguins were down by 6.
And put it right back there to close. And that's what Marshall is looking to do. They're down 3 possessions, but just barely.
It's just a really interesting team to watch. How they flow through their gameplay. Martin with a soft touch. Oh, that probably should have fallen down for him.
But watch, Marshall clears. Marshall's not going to go for no board in that situation. Ohio had 3.5, 4 guys around the rim.
They know they'll get another crack offensively. James with a big plant. He got hacked. Clayton there to follow. It probably would have been better for Ohio for that foul not to be called because Clayton was there. And Elmore James will earn a trip to the line.
Yeah, draws the contact from Crawford, who's taller, but Elmore James is just lower and stronger than a lot of guys. A great medium-sized player. He's a big guard, but a big rebounder. Just fun to watch him play football out there, as well, I like to say.
And whenever I do shoulders and traps, I think of
him.
Is this the workout that Elmore James would be doing? He's at the line, and he has added to his muscularity. He came here as a muscular guy already.
He was a big-looking guy at 18, and you add a bunch more farmer's carries and real basketball conditioning, and their shoulders just going to get bigger.
The old farmer's carries. Do they do that here anymore? Free throw good for Elmore James.
There's no downside to it. Just carry 100 pounds in each hand around the convo. Take a few laps.
Bobcats up by 9. Ohio was 15-19 from the stripe the other night. A perfect 4 for 4 here for a 9-point lead. And Marshall will keep on shooting. And that's a turnaround from Kerfman to the Ohio bench. And trying to get down the floor. Marshall, I think, got caught up in the wash with Voyles as Hunter got knocked down.
Yeah, Kerfman, the lead all scorers with 9, and Voyles just tries to walk over, turns around, and just runs into, I think, accidentally for Ohio Jalen Hunter.
So it's a 6-point lead now. Marshall from 3 is 4 of 8.
Ohio 4 of 12, but I think they hit 3 of their first 4, so roughly a 1 for 8, 1 for 9 since they were hot in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Last year, Andrew Taylor had 19 for the Herd.
They miss him.
And Tavion Kinsey had 18 and 9.
He was so good. Columbus kid. Would love to see him in the other green and white in this game, but Tavion Kinsey was there forever and put up some massive career nominals at Marshall.
And if you don't think that playing against Ohio or any team from Ohio for him wasn't special, you're nuts.
He was good. He got his growth late. Didn't have to unlearn, bad habits. The high school big. What a player.
Elmore James nearly had it stripped away. Ends up with Aiden Hadaway on the baseline. End of the timer. Jalen Hunter. Bullet pass. Elmore James for 3. And a rebound for Obina and a Chili Killen.
Getting good looks for Ohio. Just missed a few of those corner threes. The short 3 that all the coaches love.
Marshall down by 6. 2 and 6 on the year.
That doesn't seem plausible.
Crawford on the take to the goal, and body contact. It's not a foul on the swat away. It was underneath on either A.J. Clayton or Sharif Mitchell, but Marshall will earn a trip to the line.
Yeah, Mitchell got into his body going down the lane, but he's a physical guard, the most physical sub-6-footer in this league. He's doing a good job. Clayton had 5 blocks last weekend. See how many he comes up with tonight. Ohio by 2 possessions, under 4 at the convo.
Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay back the loans. Go to school, take out the loans, get a job, pay down the interest on the loans. Start a side hustle just to break even. The system worked for them. Now it's time to build a system that works for us.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or just in time for the holidays, get $4,000 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $2,500 purchase allowance. We are professional grade. GMC.
Choose Counter when you order ahead in the McDonald's app, and you can skip the line and get your food faster. Well played. Order ahead in the app to save time.
If you have a sideline reporter, you should use that sideline reporter for additional infotainment. And Sam Hyman's downstairs with a nugget on the Herd player going to the line.
Yeah, it's Cameron Crawford, guys, and he is coming off a career-high 20 points last time out. He didn't play the game before. Now, he's an Indiana State transfer, and I asked Coach Dan D'Antoni about him, and Coach said sometimes you got to send messages. I sat him down, not because of an injury in the Miami game. He is new to our system, and he wanted to play this. He wanted to play his game regardless of the system, and I want him to play his game in our system, and that is slowly but surely coming together for number 5 in the green and black as he heads to the free throw line.
You know, what's interesting about the system that he left at Indiana State and the system now here at Marshall for him, the Sycamores are 7-1, and they get up and down the floor. They're at the top of the Missouri Valley Conference right now, and the game is somewhat similar. Now, Marshall soups it up a bit more, but Indiana State plays at pace too.
No, it's the right style, and again, just figuring out, talking to their radio announcers, it's a question of some of these guys who have not played in this style, have not played with each other, so the ball just gets sticky. It doesn't move as fast as it did when they were playing more what they called hillbilly ball, a lot of the local recruiting.
Steve Cotton does a really good job, doesn't he?
He does, and Charlie Hagley was kind of giving me some X's and O's while you guys were chatting.
Marty Bannister and Dave Sakuti on radio here. Active hands defensively. That's the Ohio radio crew. Bunch of high-level broadcasters in this building today.
It's a good group. We could do several games out of this group.
A little loose with the dribble, and it ends up out of bounds. And that's Crawford, and that's really, again,
a solo turnover, not really forced.
But whenever Marshall plays, they got to play within themselves. That style and pace is great, really fun, but you could get sped up if you're thinking about that next thing.
Right, and again, it's different because this is not, again, guys who all played together, guys who know each other regionally from West Virginia, rural Kentucky, rural Ohio. It's a little different looking Marshall team than the ones that were really cool a few years ago.
Sharif Mitchell out to Aiden Hadaway for three. Hit a couple in the last game and a rebound for Marshall.
Ohio now 4 of 14 from outside. And again, they made 3 very early and are about 1 for 10, 1 for 11 since.
It's a bit more of a pedestrian pace now.
Yep.
As we close towards halftime. We talk about it often. Emotion is made or lost at the beginning or ends of halves. And Chili Killen on Hadaway, and a slip to Martin to the goal, and a foul will earn him a trip to the line.
Yep, trying to get a little more post focus. They had a couple good touches in a row for Martin about 4 minutes ago. Now they got to get back to feeding him again. They don't like half-court ball sometimes, but he's effective and he will get to the line if he can't get the shot up to make.
He's got a lot of flow working there too.
Good-looking hair, and again, he knows his limitations. He's never taken a three, never made a three. He knows what he does well. 52%
from the field last year, 62% from the field this year. He is an 83% free thrower. He's now 25 for 31.
Fascinating, but again, a very high usage guy. All the nerd numbers, all the math websites love him.
So a former Bobcat at Texas State, and he misses 2 free throws, and the folks here get free chicken out of that. And that has to be an upset because he's an 83% free thrower.
That's about a 1 in 19 shot of him missing both. Yo.
Two teams have hit a bit of an offensive lull. Elmore James stepped on the baseline and a turnover. That for Ohio is turn number 5 of the contest. Marshall has 6.
Ohio's need to keep turnovers low. We talked about in keys, keep it under 10, especially in a game against Marshall. The pace, you're right, has not been where we projected it.
Bobcats have had some chances here to add on to the 5-point lead. And of course, the Herd, with the amount of possessions they have, can erase that very quickly. And Chili Killen was looking for some help. Now big loping steps down the lane to the goal, and he banked it in. That is a power take for a guy that dazzled Rupp Arena earlier this year. He had over 20 against Kentucky. They scored over 80. They lost by a good deal.
Yeah, Kentucky scored 115, 116 that area. Hadaway did a good job initially defending him out of 20 feet, and then got taking the hoop and was just a little too horizontal, too reachy with that right hand.
And to come back from the Cayman Islands and then to play anywhere on the road is tough, but going to Rupp Arena is not a wonderful setup there.
No, it never is. Nobody's ever really ready for that, or rarely is anybody really ready for that.
They lost to Utah State, beat FIU there, lost to Oakland. Greg Campy and the Grizzlies continue to show grizzle and toughness and wins. Jalen Hunter there for a take to the goal.
First Ohio points in about 2:45. Needed that.
Stolen away, Sharif Mitchell. Marshall not giving up on the play. Layup, yes. For Jalen Hunter. He had a couple of those and one that he missed last game against Youngstown State. But now the Bobcats are up by a touchdown and an extra point.
Great job protecting the ball lefty in transition.
Martin tried to get some contact, and those convo rims, particularly that one.
Yeah, there's pursuers down there, especially in that end of the building, the south end of the building, away from uptown. I think Martin's expecting the foul call. He gets to the line a good bit. Is not going to get to the line there.
Coming down to 80 seconds left in the first half. Mitchell just threw it away. Kerfman stole it. Long bouncer. Voyles finishes. They just move so quickly down the floor.
And 3 of them there. A 3-on-1 break. No point for Ohio to even really try and defend that one. Voyles looked good. Probably should have dunked it. Whatever.
Bobcats a little loose with the basketball. Under a minute left for the first half. Lob to Clayton. Kicks out of it. Good ball movement for the Bobcats. And Sharif Mitchell misses the 3.
Just not hitting those. Great pass out of 3-on-1.
Ananchili Killen with the step through, missed that, popped around. I think he thought a foul was coming. End-to-end activity here at the end of the half, and that was tipped out of bounds, and it will be Bobcat ball.
Good recovery back there by the two bigs for Marshall. Get out and tip that thing out to our left. Dan D'Antoni would like a call or two.
And
he
Ohio,
is always so casual.
Ohio will take a timeout. He is
comfortable. He is comfortable.
Could be good weather, could be bad weather. His team could be down by 3, could be up by 13. It doesn't matter. So Ohio with 26 seconds left on the timer. You figure, well, in a normal game, you'd figure there's a possession left for each side. But here, this could be 4 possessions before the end of the first half.
Yeah, exactly. 33 seconds if you divide them up. And Dan D'Antoni reminding his players, as he probably always does, the best shot in basketball is the corner 3, followed by any other 3, followed by a shot a foot away from the basket.
These two teams are a combined 8 for 23 from 3. Marshall from the foul line is 1 for 5.
That is a little out of character. I would say Ohio's had free throw problems the last couple weeks. But for Ohio, 15 makes, 11 twos, and 4 threes. And Marshall exactly the same. 11 twos, 4 threes. Difference in this game is just those free throws. Ohio blasting Marshall on the boards. Didn't see that coming. +8 for Ohio on the boards.
As you see A.J. Brown there, he's got 7, as does Jalen Hunter. These are the type of plays that you hear announcers say that teams run all the time, and that's because they do. Sideline out of bounds, and another timeout needs to be taken here. So the Herd forcing that. Now, that timeout for Ohio was their use it or lose it. Now you're
actually using real timeouts at this point. That's
right.
Kind of where you are. Look at the situation for Marshall. Marshall, for Jeff Bohl's taste, is getting too many easy twos. But speaking of easy twos,
defense creating offense.
Yeah, and just Jalen Hunter getting out in transition, protecting lefty, and working away from Connor. They're big. He's outrunning everybody.
A little different for Jeff Bohls this Saturday than last Saturday. He was out and missed the Delaware game because of COVID. Ohio won at 74-73. I asked him about what that day was like. He said it was just awful. He did FaceTime the team at shoot-around. He had some notes for Lamar Thornton, one of Ohio's assistant coaches, to address the team at halftime. And then after the game, he did FaceTime them with his celebratory dance.
Dancing. Right. No, again, it's like trying to coach a game from the moon. You know, we've all learned so much about Zooming everywhere in the last 3 or 4 years. I suppose it's not that crazy, but we're used to being so hands-on.
Just didn't think it would have to happen again. Into the backcourt here, and at least from Marshall's perspective, they make Ohio take a couple of ticks off of the timer.
About 7 seconds difference.
This is the most standing and dribbling that you'll see in most games, and particularly this game. Clayton sets a high screen, tries for the rim run. Marshall defended that so well, and it's a takeaway for Voyles. Steps through, layup, yes.
Impressive.
What a nice job by Marshall there. Ohio still has a crack. There is plenty of time, and another steal, and I think Voyles thought that there was less time on the clock than there actually